At 5, we're going to check out the damage after a tornado moves through parts of Nevada, Missouri. Plus, Moundville community members also rallied to clean up after the storm. And President Trump declares Liberation Day with new tariffs, but some critics warn Americans could pay the price.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
4-staters are assessing the storm damage, salvaging what they can, and cleaning up. It appears much of the damage is from a single tornado that swept through parts of 2 states. Touched down in the area of Arma and Arcadia in southeast Kansas around 7:12 this morning. It remained on the ground as it crossed into Missouri, moving into the Moundville and Nevada area before finally leaving Vernon County just before 8 a.m. We do not have any reports of injuries. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. There are no longer any watches or warnings in the area. We will get a weather update in a bit. But first, we have team coverage of the damage around the 4 states. We're getting updated information from crews in Nevada, Moundville, and Arma. We start in Nevada, where a number of homes and businesses are damaged. City Manager Gary Edwards says it's too early to estimate damage, but it appears to be substantial. He says the tornado appeared to hop and the damage is severe in multiple locations. Although some roads were closed earlier, he believes they are now all open. He says the community center is open to storm victims. One of the businesses that suffered extensive damage is Nevada Oaks, where many Missouri Institute of Welding students live. Sherry Snyder's family owns the housing, and one of her concerns is the safety of the welding students and her father, who was staying on the premises. Snyder was planning to move into a new home tomorrow. That home was destroyed in the tornado as well.
My dad and I, we love the welding students. My dad, we eat, sleep, and breathe this place, so we're here all the time. Other family members are here and work here, and that's the sad part.
Snyder says the only person she's aware of who suffered injuries is a maintenance man from Nevada Oaks. She says she's glad the welding students are all safe. Another community dealing with damage is the small Vernon County village of Moundville. KOAM's Anthony Saviello is there and joins us now live.
Dow, that's exactly right. You know, here in Moundville, we're about 10 miles southwest of Nevada, but also here a lot of damage is done to both residents and businesses. As you can see, the damage is quite extensive. So residents have been out here all day. They are still out here cleaning up the damage done to those houses, those businesses. Many buildings had their roofs stripped away, and the iconic Moundville gas station is now nothing but a pile of rubble. On the other side of all this devastation, however, there are people doing what they can to provide relief to those affected. We talked to one lady who is actually doing just that.
I actually helped a little bit in the Joplin tornado. So it's something that I just feel called to do. I'm a Christian, so we do what we're called to do, and so that's basically what it was. I like to help people when they're in need.
I will also add that the Red Cross was out here this morning. The Salvation Army is actually here in Moundville right now, helping with relief efforts. First responders, tons of help is already here in town, people from all over. Of course, we'll have more updates coming up at 5. Dow?
All right, Anthony Saviello, thanks so much. There appears to be much less damage in the area of Arma and Arcadia in Kansas, where the tornado apparently first touched down. However, people in that area tell us they heard the tornado pass and took shelter. Some homes and businesses there might have some damage. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for our first look at the weather.
Well, we can see quite a bit of reports. We had some hail as well. So here is that Arma to Nevada tornado up there near Mound City and Butler as well. Another tornado passed. So what we had, a little bit of what started off maybe wind damage, kind of turned to that weaker tornado, but by the time it hit the Moundville area, National Weather Service did their report today, found that it was about an EF1. Now, that's the preliminary report, still to come out after further damage will be assessed. And then we had that second one that was up further north, all the way up north of Butler, you can see, was also confirmed on the ground. Now, earlier this morning, there was also tornado warning set off in the Webb City area. As of right now, no damage has been reported, and we didn't see anything on the ground. Could have seen a funnel, but we're looking good for the rest of the night. We've got storms coming tomorrow and Friday, though very low threat, but heavy rainfall approaching, and I'm going to have those details coming up.
See you soon. President Trump is calling it Liberation Day as he announces sweeping new tariffs on countries that tax U.S. goods. Move targets trade partners like China, Japan, and the European Union, but critics warn it could raise costs for American consumers. Some U.S. companies, including Boeing, fear retaliation tariffs could hurt exports. Meanwhile, a 25% tariff on imported vehicles and auto parts takes effect Thursday, with Toyota, Hyundai, and Nissan expected to be hit the hardest. You're going to see much more on this story on the CBS Evening News coming up tonight at 5:30. Still ahead, recognizing contributions on this World Autism Day.
At this design company, the majority of employees are on the autism spectrum. I'm Bradley Blackburn with how acceptance and inclusion has built a thriving business.
And later, beware of bad tax tips on social media, what the IRS says about the spread of misinformation. Topping today's Health Watch, Mpox has the potential to become a major global health threat. Researchers from the University of Surrey say the disease, once referred to as monkeypox, is traditionally spread from animals to humans, but is now showing clear signs of human-to-human transmission. Doctors say we need to invest in more testing and treatments. Lowering your cholesterol can also lower your risk of dementia. A study published in the British Medical Journal found that people with low levels of LDL cholesterol in their blood have a 26% lower risk of dementia. Many studies have already established that lowering cholesterol also protects against cardiovascular disease. About 1 in 36 children in the U.S. is now identified with autism spectrum disorder. And for many parents, a major concern is what their future looks like in adulthood. On this World Autism Day, Bradley Blackburn takes us to a thriving business where employees with ASD are finding meaningful work.
At a busy t-shirt factory on New York's Long Island, the whirling screen printer is run by Spencer. Social media specialist Kelly captures the moment as Jason is sorting shirts.
I'm ready for my close-up!
They're all employees at Spectrum Designs, and they're all on the autism spectrum.
Me and Spence, just because we're autistic doesn't mean we're not capable.
At this nonprofit business, 65% of employees have ASD. It was co-founded by Patrick Bardsley. He worked at a special needs summer camp and realized the kids he met would need jobs as adults.
Yes, this is a t-shirt company. Yes, we make products and everything else, but it's so much more than that.
The unemployment rate for people with ASD has been estimated at 40% or higher. Kelly struggled to find a job even with a college degree.
I was job interviewing, and within the first 5 minutes, the employer told me, I can't hire you because you don't make eye contact. And that really upset me because I knew everything about the company. I would have been a great employee.
At Spectrum, employees get competitive pay and benefits, and the workplace is inclusive by design. There's a quiet space for breaks without stimulation, clear signage, and a video-based training system.
Ever since we've made these visual changes, we've seen a 30% uptick in our efficiency in the company. And again, this is something that every business can do.
Before you started here, did you have any idea that this is how shirts are printed?
No.
Spencer used to bag groceries at a supermarket. Now he leads a team as a decoration specialist. Kelly has grown Spectrum's Instagram by 100,000 followers.
I'm happy to be autistic. I'm proud to be autistic. And if someone can't accept that, then it's their loss, not mine.
Finding success and fulfillment in a workplace that welcomes all. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Port Washington, New York.
Spectrum Designs has 2 locations in New York and hopes to grow 2 other locations across the country. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we've got some need-to-know facts about microchipping.
And we had severe weather this morning, but more rain to come. I'll have those details coming up. Well, we had some severe weather this morning, and there's more rain coming through the rest of the week. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can see clear skies through this afternoon and into this evening. We have a nice little break before our next round of rain comes through. Now, the system that brought all of our damage this morning is off to the east. We have a few clouds pushing through, but overall tonight's going to be a calm night. You can see that storm has a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings heading into the Tennessee area, out to Kentucky as well. Luckily, it's past our area, and through the rest of the week we do have rain, but we're not seeing as big of a severe threat. So the rain starts by about 7 to 9 in the morning tomorrow. So we've got a nice little break, not looking at a severe threat. You can see that severe threat stays just south of us. Even that slight risk is south of us. We do have a little bit of a marginal risk south of I-44. That's just going to be a few thunderstorms that pop up. So let's go ahead and take a look at that future track. As we head through tomorrow morning, we're going to start to see some rain showers popping up, especially south of I-44, maybe even some thunderstorms. It's about 7:30. Thunderstorms push in, again, staying south of I-44, maybe making it as far north as the Joplin area, Carl Junction, Carthage, but not going to be severe. Heavy rainfall with this, that's going to be our main threat over the next couple of days. Now, as we head into the afternoon, this is now 5 p.m., we're getting rain all day. We're going to see some little thunderstorms kind of embedded in the widespread rain, but again, not going to be a severe threat. We have a nice little break Thursday night into early Friday morning, but now 5:30, another round of heavy rain and some thunderstorms. Again, those thunderstorms south of I-44 start to push in. Now, with this system, not really looking too severe. However, with some of these storms, again, staying south of I-44, with some of those storms, our main threat could be large hail. That's going to be our most severe threat that we see. But the heavy rain does continue. So you can see widespread heavy rainfall across the entire area through Friday morning. This is still only about 8 a.m., clearing out a little bit more into the Missouri side, but then we head into the afternoon where we're going to see widespread rain showers again, maybe some pop-up thunderstorms. Not a severe threat though. That continues well into Saturday and even into Sunday morning. The rain amounts could be widespread, but also saw a couple of those pass staying south of I-44. So about 2 inches in Joplin, about 4 inches in the Bentonville area. So you can see the difference there. And then out near Chanute, only 1/4 of an inch. So northwest, not seeing as much rain, but still everyone's getting widespread rainfall Thursday through early Sunday morning, with our biggest possibility for any type of severe weather would be Friday morning. You can see we've got a cooler weekend as well. 55 on Saturday, 54 on Sunday. Cooler start to our week, but we warm back up into the 70s. Another chance of rain on Wednesday, not a severe threat, but much nicer looking week next week. We've got sunny skies, temperatures back in the 70s. Unfortunately, still seeing that rain consistent, especially after all the damage today.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be a problem as people try to get out and do some repairs. Maybe they have some roof damage. They're going to be dealing with leaks. Rain is one thing they don't need right now.
No, exactly.
Thanks, Lindsay. KUAM had planned to hold our Hero Fund USA Telethon today during our noon, 5 and 6 p.m. newscast to help raise money for area first responders. But because of our storm coverage, that telethon is postponed. We're going to let you know when we reschedule it. Coming up, record car sales surge ahead of the Trump administration's new auto tariffs.
622-4072.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, another reason not to trust everything you read or see online. The IRS is warning taxpayers about bad tax return advice on TikTok and other platforms. Josh Sidorowitz tells us how some Americans might be following false claims and missing out on legitimate deductions.
Scroll through social media and you will find all kinds of tips to file your taxes. Some claim tapping into obscure credits can even net you bigger refunds, from writing off your car or even your pet to hiring your own kids. But tax professionals caution, following some of it could lead to fines and delays getting any refund you're actually owed.
There's just enough truth to be dangerous.
There's usually some credibility in the claim, the credit, the deduction. It does exist, but not the way they phrase it, and certainly not with the way they're intending it.
The problem prevalent enough now, the IRS says it is stepping up reviews of returns that claim these other withholdings, saying instead of looking to ill-informed information on social media, Speak to a trusted tax professional. More than 700,000 taxpayers at the end of last year were still waiting on their refunds that were frozen for review by the IRS after claiming credits they potentially weren't eligible for. The National Taxpayer Advocate's annual report to Congress in January partly blaming misinformation on social media. Jackson Hewitt Chief Tax Officer Mark Stieber says the biggest mistake people make is not claiming credits they do actually qualify for, like the earned income and the child tax credit.
Here's the thing that people don't really fully appreciate. If you leave off an income item, if you leave off your crypto, the IRS is generally looking for that and you might get a question. But if you leave off the earned income credit, which about 1 out of 5 do every year, or you leave off a deduction related to your self-employment, the IRS doesn't say, oh, wait a minute, they don't add back deductions. They don't add back credits. You don't get a bigger refund from the IRS. You leave it off, it stays off.
And a lot of people are leaving a lot of money on the table. The IRS said in just 1 year, eligible taxpayers left more than $7 billion unclaimed, and that was just for the earned income tax credit. This year's filing deadline is April 15th. I'm Josh Sidorowicz, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Major car makers are reporting record sales ahead of President Trump's 25% tariffs on foreign cars and auto parts. Hyundai says it sold more than 87,000 units in March. That's a 13% jump, while Ford says its sales jumped 19% last month. Our Pet Vet on Call up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, parts of the country are preparing for a foot of rain. We're going to hear from emergency crews as they get ready for the potential severe flooding, possibly a once-in-a-century event. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more from a Nevada, Missouri woman whose business and home are damaged from that early morning tornado. Plus, we'll go live to Moundville, Missouri, where people are assessing damage and trying to clean up. And a Labette County high school football player signs with Coffeyville Community College. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. As we move deeper into spring, we and our pets are likely to spend more time outside. But as the pets are out and about, we want to keep track of them. And that brings us to today's topic for our Pet Vet on Call. Dr. Eva Dudak has some information for us about microchips.
Okay, so microchips are a good thing to have in your pet. What they are not are a GPS system. You can't track your pet if he's microchipped. They're also not easily removed. Some people think you could cut them out and still save, or not save, or steal that pet. You can't do that. It's very, very hard. And then the other thing is that they are not an evil thing, not a sign of the devil, like many people believe is the same thing with microchips in humans. But what they do is return your pet if they are brought in by an animal control officer to a boarding facility because they are a permanently microchipped number that is registered. It must be registered. That's the key. If that number is scanned, we can find out who you are, where you live, your telephone number, and reunite you with your pet. It has reunited many a pet with their families just in our own facilities. Get a microchip if you have a question.
You know, we invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudak from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. Look at that from the Joplin Humane Society. We've chosen a female husky, a puppy there named Femi. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we have a black Labrador Retriever, a 7-year-old female. Her name is Ducky. I don't know why, but that is her name, Ducky. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society?
Oh, they're so cute.
Yes, indeed. A rough start to the day for an awful lot of people with tornado damage, and it looks like we have some rain chances still ahead of us.
Yes, consistent rain all day Thursday, all day Friday, into Saturday, and even clearing up by early Sunday morning. So not a big severe threat. Friday morning is going to be our most likely chance for any type of severe weather. Main threat would be large hail. But everywhere else, it's just going to be heavy rainfall, which is not great. to be seeing consistently for the next few days, especially after our all the damage that happened with the storms this morning.
People need to get outside and be able to clean up. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.